Hey, this is where we're going to talk about skill presentations. I'm Jayne Turk, and this is Let's Talk Turkey. So let's start by talking about what we're going to do tonight. So we're going to talk about how we're going to accomplish the skill presentations, the what, the why, speech anxiety, and what those next steps are. Got to start by saying this is a requirement. You have to do the presentation in order to pass this class. It's absolutely required. And I'm going to make sure you get through it. So let's talk about what your options are. The hardest option is to create a video with your partner and upload that video to our class channel. You can do that on your own schedule, on your own time, as long as you and your partner can get together and get it recorded. So that's the hard option. The easy option is to join one of our lives. So there's going to be 2 times scheduled, maybe a third. We can talk because I just made up the dates and we can see if there's something else that works better for you. And so you can sign up to do those dates when you sign up for the presentation dates on the document that you have. You can sign up for one of those 2 dates, and then your partner hopefully is able to do whatever you sign up for. And then you can show up and I'll take care of all the recording and all the details and all the uploading, and all you have to do is do your presentation. So those are the options to do this. So what is the this that you're going to do? So let's talk about it first. We're going to talk about the handout, we're going to talk about the script, and we're going to talk about the presentation. So the handout, and there is a document that I've emailed to all of you that is also available online that you are going to fill out your part of. And so you're going to end up with something that looks maybe like this. I got permission from a student from a while back to use their handout. And so it's going to be labeled with the title. I have that already all filled in. And then I have the useful when prompt. And you're going to say, when is this particular skill useful? And so when is a perception check useful? It's useful when maybe you're misunderstanding things, or when you don't really quite understand what's going on, or maybe your feelings are hurt and you want to see if your feelings are hurt legitimately or not. So you can put what your useful when is. And reminders, those are things that you want to remember to do the next time you're engaging in this skill. You should be able to get those reminders from your simulation journal. If it's a skill we've done a simulation journal on. If not, I just want you to think, what is it that you need to remember when you're practicing this skill? The meat of your handout, though, is the steps or elements and examples of those. So the first step in a perception check is a neutral description of the behavior. And so the student who did this said, before you can do that, you've got to observe it. That's perfectly fine. And there could be a little variety in between the way that I teach it and the way that the textbook teaches it, but definitely choose one of the 2 of us. And so there's that step, and then there's an example of the step. So the perception check has 3 steps: the description of behavior, the 2 possible different interpretations, the request for feedback. So the skill that you're choosing could have anywhere from 2 to 7 steps. Just make sure that you're doing all of them. Some of the skills don't have steps, they have elements. Make sure that you're doing all of those as well. You're giving a label to it, and you're giving an example of it. And at the bottom, you can see artwork. I don't care what artwork you choose. You can choose artwork that is something that you've created. You can choose artwork that you found on Google. In this particular case, I think the student used AI to create artwork. So that's what your handout's going to look like, though, is you're going to have those things to it. After you're done, you're going to upload it both to Canvas as an individual document, and you're going to upload it to the group document so everybody in class will have a copy of everybody else's handouts. That's super important. So after you've done the handout, you're going to work on the script. And the script is going to be what you're going to write in order to show what your skill looks like and what your skill looks like when it's done the right way. And there are a couple of different ways you can do this. You're always going to have one partner, but you can write your script for 1, 2, 3 people, depending on how you want to break it down. So I have a couple of different examples here. Let me show you. So here's a script for the perception check. I feel like we haven't talked in a while. Is it that you're really busy? Did I say something to upset you? Or whatever it is, I just really want to know what's going on. So that would be my line. My partner could say, note the description of behavior, 2 interpretations, request for response. If you have a narrator, if you're choosing to play that role. And then you have your other partner, so it could be, you could be doing your role and the narrator's role. Your partner could be doing the narrator's role and their role, however you want to do it. And then you have the second character who says, I felt really upset when you didn't make it to my birthday party. And then the narrator, whoever's playing that part, could say, note that the perception check encouraged an honest response. So that's one way of doing it. So you can have a narrator in there or not. Another way of doing it is to have the first speaker say, I feel like we haven't talked in a while. Is it that you're really busy, or I did something to upset you, or whatever it is, I just really want to know what's going on. And then you could only have a narrator who says, note the description of behavior, the 2 interpretations, requests for feedback, and that the perception check will encourage an honest response. So that there are 2 different ways of doing it. So you're going to create a handout, you're going to create a script. Once you have those 2, you're going to create a presentation. And the presentation is going to be explaining your skill. The handout's going to act as backup for that. You're going to do the presentation where you explain, teach the skill to the class, and then you and your partner are going to act out the skit. So why are we doing this? Besides, of course, the fact that, you want to graduate. We're doing it because we learn best what we teach. And so by having you focus on teaching a particular skill, it's going to really reinforce that skill to you. It's going to really make sure that you know this one backwards and forwards. And of course, it's going to help your classmates as well, because seeing other approaches besides mine will help reinforce those concepts for you. And this is the easiest way for you to study for your final Quizy-Poo. As this class meets the communication requirement, you must give at least one presentation with an audience to pass. And so by guaranteeing that you have a partner, I'm guaranteeing you have an audience. So that's why we're doing it that way. If listening to this has made you butterflies in your stomach clench, you're like, shh, I did not sign up for this. Let me try and make it at least a little bit better. So let's talk about ways that we can overcome anxiety and ways that we can work on building your confidence. And some of them, miracle of miracles, we've already been working on this semester. So we know that thoughts cause feelings, right? We know that because we've been studying emotions. So let's talk about what those thoughts are. What is it that you're thinking? So if you're thinking, I can't possibly do this. As Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Something along those lines. Yeah. If you're thinking that you're not going to be able to do it, you're not. If you're thinking that you might make a fool out of yourself, let's be real. Nobody cares. This is a grade for everybody else in the class, and I'm the one grading you. If you make a mistake or you blow it, we'll make it right. It's not like none of us have seen mistakes before. So what is it that you're thinking? And can we work on that more rational thought that we've been practicing all semester long? So what can you think? Can you think that it won't be perfect? Guarantee it won't. And that's okay. What I can do is good enough, because those thoughts will help you be successful. And be thinking about other places where you have to present, like job interviews. and that thinking about those same things. You're not going to be perfect, and it's still going to be okay. And practice. Practice, 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 and practice out loud. Because I can tell you from experience that practicing by putting your notes under your pillow and taking a nap does not work. But by practicing out loud, it does help you get down the sounds and the words that you want to say, and it is going to make it easier and more smooth for you. And this is not a reading class, so don't get up there and read your handout to me. I want it to be a presentation. I want it to be conversational. I don't want you reading off the handout. In fact, I'll stop you if that's what you're doing, so don't do that. You can read the skit part, especially your partner is not going to have it memorized. A little bit of reading there is okay, but I do not want you reading the presentations. And remember to breathe. So this is super important because beginning speakers typically do this. I'm going to hold my breath, and then I'm going to say it as fast as I can, and I'm not going to have another breath until I'm done, until it's all done and over with. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Don't do that. Don't do that. Breathe. It makes your brain work better. It helps you to relax. It helps deal with those butterflies in your stomach. I promise you. Just like if you're lifting weights, you need to make sure that you're breathing in order to lift the heaviest weights. In order to give a good speech, you need to breathe. And finally, I want to talk to you about the fact that I don't want to get rid of your anxiety. I just want it to be manageable. Here's the thing. A little bit of anxiety makes you smarter. It makes you more focused. It makes you more interesting. It makes you more energetic. And those are all things that are good. You want those when you go in for a job interview. You want them when you're playing sports. If you've ever played on a team that was really, really good and you were playing a team that was bad, you might have gotten out in the field and realized that you didn't have anxiety and your whole team lacked energy and you got your butts whooped by a team that was obviously not as good as you. As a fan for many decades of the beloved Las Vegas now Raiders, I can tell you this is one of the reasons that my team wins sometimes, because in the years when they've sucked, and there have been far too many of them, they've beaten really good teams because those other teams were like, no big deal. We got this. And they didn't have anxiety. So I want you to have enough anxiety to keep you focused and sharp and interesting and enthusiastic. And so again, I can do this. You got it. Take that breath, practice. You're going to be just fine. If this is not enough for you, if you're still thinking, man, I'm going to have to drop the class because I can't do this, please come and see me. I have been able to get through every single student that's ever wanted to do this. Even a little tiny bit, I've been able to get them through the presentation. I promise you I can. I'm good at this. And you have to trust me at least a little bit. I will help you. I will make it possible. So please, talk to me. So let's talk about how this all thing works. So there is a document. You're going to sign up for it. I think it's on the discussion boards. Reminder, yes, it's required to pass the class. So if you don't sign up and deliver your presentation, you're not going to pass. So you have the two options. The hardest one, to create a video with a partner and submit that so everybody else can see it and so they can study for their finals with it. The easiest option is to sign up for one of the Zoom classes that I will have posted on there. And you and your partner will show up on that day. You will have your handouts preloaded into the document that everybody shares so everybody can see them. And you're going to you're going to teach your skill to the class, deliver your presentation, and you and your partner are going to do your skit. And then we'll be audiences for each other. So you've got to do the skill handout, you've got to do the skit, and you're going to do the presentation. So I've created a separate page for each of your skills. So when you get that document, you can, and hopefully the table of contents is working, you can scroll down to where your page is and fill it out, add the stuff to it, add the artwork to it, add all of the pieces. The name of the skill is already on there, so you need to add the useful when, reminders, the steps or elements, and the examples, as well as the artwork. You can work directly in this document, but I encourage you to do it somewhere else and then just paste it into there so you don't run as many risks of losing it. And towards the end of the semester, when everyone has their handouts uploaded into the document, I'm going to ask you to save it into a Google Drive or save it onto your hard drive and add your 3 extra pieces of interpersonal art. I'll talk about those later. And that combined is your portfolio. I would love to have you print it and keep it in your underwear drawer forever and ever and ever. So you can always refer back to any of the skills we've worked on this semester. If you're in a situation where what you're doing isn't working and you're like, I kind of remember responding non-defensively. Maybe I should go look at that one again. You can go in your drawer and find it, hopefully, and use it and make your life better forever and ever. So when I run into you in public, I'm going to ask you what's in your underwear drawer. And there's really only one right answer, just so you know in advance. So when you find this video in the discussion board, there's going to be a place below to sign up for your topic. I will assign partners if you don't do it pretty quickly. But my preference is that you go in and choose your own partner that you've seen when they're signing up for, because you're going to sign up for the topic and the date that you want to do it if you're going to do it with me, or you could sign up to do it independently. And then someone can say, oh, I know I'm going to be there that day. I'll sign up to be your partner then. But if you don't sign up to be partners, then I will be assigning you them. As a reminder, every single person is going to do their own topic, their own handout, their own presentation, their own skit, and you're going to help somebody else on their skit. So create your handout, create your presentation, create your skit, practice, 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 and then come to one of the class lives or record a video and upload it. So that's the stuff. All those things we've gone over, just to recap. So sign up for a date and a topic, and then show up on time ready to present. Or sign up without a date, but with a partner that you meet with, and make that happen. As I said, you'll choose or assign a partner. You create your handout, create your presentation, create your skit, practice, 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 and then present on Zoom or film your video and upload it, and then watch the other videos to study for the final. Whew. In case no one said it today, I love you, and you've got this. This has been Let's Talk Turkey with Jayne Turk, and I'm really glad you're here. Please reach out to me if you have questions so I can help. Have a great day.